body was not feeling so good May of 2012, I can tell you that much.
There were a lot of question marks. Can he get through this? Is his body going to hold up?
My freshman year, I just wanted to make the starting lineup. It was eye-opening coming from junior tennis to college tennis. I was talented, but I was lazy. You know, I came in a little bit overweight. For me, the most important thing when I got here was learning that work ethic that it took to become an effective member of this team.
Well, his freshman year, I was trying to figure out how good Steve was. I remember very clearly his first match trying to figure out if he should play 4 or 5.
Once I started middle of the lineup and winning, I knew I was kind of solidified my spot in the lineup, which took a big weight off my shoulders. And then I felt like I really kind of got my groove my sophomore year.
And Steve Johnson, the sophomore from Orange, California. Talk about snapping it off.
He just rose gradually. But inside him, and what came out through his time at USC, was a natural-born killer.
And there it is.
I've never met someone so different.
Off the court, I'm really one of the most laid-back people. I'm not very competitive.
Couldn't be more relaxed off the court. But on the court, he would walk out and you could just tell he had a little different step in his walk.
For me, it's just kind of like a light switch flips and it's go time. In my eyes, I'm one of the most competitive people out there. You're not going to get a day where, oh, Steve Johnson's just going to kind of go away. I'm going to go out there and compete for every point, for every shot.
He's not an arrogant kid, but there was an arrogance about him, and everybody knew it. In 2011, it's his junior year, and I turned to my assistant and I said, we're playing for 2 things today. We're playing for Stevie's 4th year, and we're playing for the 3rd NCAA title. As soon as we won, he jumped on top of me, took me down, and he was screaming at me. We won, and I'm coming back.
This is the national championship trophy. I've been without it for, I think, 365 days.
I knew Steve could have turned pro after his 3rd year very easily, and I think a lot of people would have done that.
There was a lot of people who thought I was kind of crazy. I'd won 3 team titles, I'd won an individual title. What is there left for you to accomplish?
51 consecutive wins now for Steve at the collegiate level. Are you just happy to be along for the ride at this point, watching somebody really at the highest level?
51 matches is ridiculous. We're trying to find the record books. There's no records on this, but the closest we can find is 43.
In his last 2 years playing here, he ran the college scene.
The streak, there was times that it was all people would talk about, all I would read, all this and that. And at that point I realized, this is the start of something maybe special.
Everyone should be out here watching him because what he's doing is special, and I don't know if I'll ever see it again.
Going to NCAAs in 2012 as a senior was a high-stress couple of weeks for me. My body was not feeling so good, I can tell you that much. My first 2 days there, I was in the hospital getting IVs. I had some type of flu or food poisoning or something. I just felt awful. I couldn't eat. I had a stress fracture in my shin.
I think it was 2nd day we were there. He can't practice. He can't do anything. He's throwing up. He's throwing up next to the court in practice.
I didn't tell anybody really anything outside of the coaches because I don't need it to be a big deal. I just want to go out there and win. I don't need to have an excuse to lose.
You play the team, which takes 5 days, and then the very next day, you have to play singles. Before we played the round of 16, he said, I'm really struggling.
NCAA's is not easy. We played 15 matches in a 12-day period. I was just so emotionally drained. I was so worried about every little thing that was going on physically. There were certain times in the match, I'd get this like throbbing pain.
There were a lot of question marks. Can he get through this? Is his body going to hold up? The tougher days were quarterfinals. That was a really tough match. And that was the day we also defaulted him in doubles. It was obviously just too much on him. I looked at him in the middle of the third and said, if we want to play tomorrow, we got to stop right now. We're done.
Welcome back to the final.
Feels good to be back. One more day.
Playing Eric in the 2012 NCAA individual final was a different type of match than I think I had felt. Because this was it, last one regardless of the outcome. I mean, my whole goal, because I just wasn't feeling great, was just to hold my serve every time. And whatever I had left in the tank, just to give it all in return game. I win in the first, I think 6-4. And in the second set, we're just holding serves back and forth. I think it's like 4-all. And then I ended up breaking him to go up 5-4. Once I got to match point, I knew I was close to shutting the door on this whole era of my college career. Yeah, the emotion I felt after winning that match was just pure elation. I just was so happy that it was over. And there was such a weight lifted off my shoulders that the streak was over and it was done. My college career was over.
I clearly remember waking up the next day after Steve had won the singles, and I told myself, it will never be this good again. But I'm great with that. I'm better for having coached Steve.
2012 NCAA Division I Men's Tennis Singles National Champion, Steve Johnson.
I would have never guessed in a million years that I'd win 72 matches in a row to finish my college career, that I win 4 NCAA team titles, I win 2 individual titles, be Player of the Year a couple times. It's just a culmination of all these huge parts of what I wanted to accomplish in that moment and in my life kind of came to an end.